Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. I want to say thank you guys for the last broadcast I had on YouTube and Facebook. A lot of people showed love. Greatly appreciate that for the likes and the Cash Apps and the PayPal. So, thank you very much for everybody that's been riding with me all this time. So, I just want to put that out there because you don't have to watch me. There's so many podcasters out there, there's so many people creating content out there. And I don't think I do that enough to just saying thank you. That's how I was raised to always say thank you, yes sir, yes ma'am, appreciate it. Even though in today's world, a lot of times people can't wait to get offended when you say that to somebody, but it is what it is. So, all right. So today, and before I go forward with the word of the day, um, I will be going live within the next hour, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be going live talking about the recent current events that have been going on, unfortunately, within the last 2 weeks. And as always, I'm not talking about political nonsense. I never go there. The closest I get to politics is check-ins and savings. Because like I always say, I don't do Democrats and Republicans. I do check-ins and savings. All right, so I'm just putting that out there now. So for any future trolls or current trolls, you're barking up the wrong tree. Only time I told somebody today, the only time I want to have an argument is when it comes to my health and when it comes to my wealth. Outside of that, or family. Outside of that, there's nothing to argue about. All right, so today's word of the day is gout. Gout stands for disease of uric and acid metabolism occurring in males marked by arthritis and painful and inflammation of the joints. Anyways, I chose this word today because we are living in a time frame in today's world where we are experiencing numerous amounts of gout when it comes to inflation, when it comes to, you see gas prices continuously going up, inflation on all levels, from bills to goods and services to everything. And I even feel for the people who are looking, who need to buy a house right now. It's like one of the worst times to buy a house right now, but if you can, go for it, right? Even somebody who's trying to find a place to rent, everything is, when it boils down to the economy, sucks and it's hard. That is 2022, the middle of 2022. That's what it is. All right, no matter what part of the country you live in, what part of the world you live in, and whatnot, everything is insane. Okay, and and then of course, the recent shootings that have happened, all those people, unfortunately, and mostly children that were killed in Texas, very horrible. People who were killed in Buffalo, mostly elders, very horrible. You know, and of course, the world we live in, they're going to politicize that because the media is such a joke nowadays, and that's why I was having a conversation with a friend today talking about Elon Musk buying Twitter. And I was like, well, all I care about is, hey, do I need to sell the Twitter stock, or do I need to buy Twitter stock? Because you can look me up on Larry's Anything Goes LLC. I'm not really on Twitter like that. I really just do promotions. I might like somebody's tweet, but I'm a grown man. I'm not going to argue with somebody back and forth on the internet. That's just not how I get down. And I've got, like, in my 20s, I did that. In my 30s, I'm not doing that. And because for me, it's a waste of time. It's like, it's one thing if we're arguing about, okay, what is the best way forward for us as a collective to get things done? That kind of argument I can get with. Okay, so that means it's going to be, it's like a meeting. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what is the purpose of having a meeting? Whether you own a company or you work for a company, right? What is the purpose of a meeting? Purpose of a meeting is to get the good minds together that are on a specific team. Sometimes purpose of a meeting is to get two different teams or two different corporations to have a meeting of the minds to say, hey, what is the best way forward? Okay, corporations do this all the time because they work with each other all the time, whether big ones or small ones. Governments and corporations, other governments do this all the time. So this isn't nothing abnormal, right? Organizations do this. I think the biggest problem you have, I know my word of the dates lately have been turning into rants, but I think the biggest problem that we have in today's world is that, especially in the social media world, is that people, the best content I know when the algorithm gets the most watched. Okay, people going back and bickering back and forth like a bunch of chickens. That gets the most watch. All right, same thing with the media. People are arguing back and forth. Especially I remember, like, it got worse on the media during the Obama era when people were just yelling at each other and cussing each other out, and it just got ridiculous. Okay, And I don't care what media station you watch it, they're all corporate puppets at the end of the day. From Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all corporate puppets. So they work for somebody. They have a boss. Crazy concept, right? But anyways, so there's an agenda. It's like whoever you work for, you have to go with that person's agenda because you don't own the company. You work for the company. So it is what it is. It's not illegal. I'm not saying that there's anything bad about it, but I'm just saying to the listeners, hey, this is what it is. That's why podcasters are more popular now because for the most part, not saying all, but for the most part, they're putting out the message that they truly believe in. And even though they're making specific money off of it, um, they believe in it, and the people that watch them believe in what they're saying and whatnot, and not just having that specific agenda. But anyways, my mindset at the end of the day is that if I'm going to argue with you at this point in my life, it needs to be about a way forward, like in a business meeting, not just arguing for this because I'm trying to prove who's right. You watch any of those shows on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all they care about is trying to prove who's right. Whether they're right or wrong is irrelevant, right? All they care about is proving who's right because the puppet masters are like, all right, dance, puppets, dance. We want to see you guys go at it. It's like watching two animals go at it. It's like Fight Club. You ever seen Fight Club with Brad Pitt and whatnot? And they were guys that they were fighting each other because they wanted to get out the anger and emotion, and then it morphed into something else and whatnot. They were trying to topple the government, things of that nature. But or not even just the government, just the system as a corporate America, corporate system, the system as a whole. They wanted to topple it. That's what it morphed into. But the best part about the movie, it was entertaining to watch two people fight each other. It's like boxing. People are getting paid to fight each other. All right, dance puppets dance. All right. Well, I'm not gonna say dance puppets dance because these people are not puppets because when they get in the boxing ring, they trained for this. Obviously, they know that they could hurt somebody, they can get hurt, but they're getting paid a good amount of money to be a professional athlete in the ring. So that's a different story. But anyways, at the end of the day, my point is that because we're going through a gout moment right now, you have to be able to be strategic in this world. And the worst thing about the education system is that it only teaches you how to be an obedient employee, an obedient test taker. It does not really get into the crux of how the U.S. economy works, how a global economy works, and the media is the same way. It's like the majority of the time they're not having an economic conversation unless there's a liberal agenda or unless there's a conservative agenda. And my mindset, money agenda speaks on all parties. That's what I said. Both parties want to make money, so there should be an economic agenda. That's why, thank God for podcasters because the smarter podcasters are the ones that are talking about things from an economic agenda. Most reasonable adults don't want to hear this political crap anymore, right? We just need to know because at the end of the day, bills got to get paid, rent's got to get paid, the mortgage has to get paid. It is what it is, regardless of your political thoughts. So that's why I look at it as irrelevant. But that's just me. But we're in a time of gout, so you got to be able to see how you're going to strategize yourself, and it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. That's the thing people need to get in their mind on some realness. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, today's quote of the day is by Don Delillo. It says, as technology advances in complexity and scope, fear becomes more primitive. And I could not agree with that statement more, especially now that we are living in times when people are much more fearful of their future because they see their savings going down. They see, from the bank accounts, they see the cost of living going up. The wages haven't been keeping with cost of living for a long time. So that's just for a long time. Let's just put it like that. And because unfortunately, because so many people believe in what they always told, and they don't know how to because unfortunately, we're not raised to question stuff. You know what I mean? And not in because a lot of times people get in their feelings. They're not questioning themselves in regards to questioning what people are telling them. And from I'm going to insult you standpoint. No, you live in America. You have the right to be able to say, okay, well, I disagree with this. And should I always believe everything I'm told? No, let me do my research. Let me go from there. And then when somebody's telling me something, they should be able to show me, not just tell me. Like we was talking with a friend of mine today, and he was telling me about he wishes his son was around me or another person that we know because we look into these things in regards to financial literacy. I said, well, you could see, here's the problem. I said, you can put your son in front of us. You could talk until your face turns red. The problem is, your son needs to see it. He needs to see you do it. So we were talking about a whole life insurance policy, how you can benefit off of that and turn that essentially into in-home banking for yourself. How you can have an individual retirement account or whatnot, and possibly utilize that money in an emergency, or roll over that money to an account that might make you some more money. Just depending on, roll it over into another brokerage account, et cetera, and so forth. We were talking about the upsides of owning a business, upsides of having rental properties and whatnot, and the extra opportunities that it can create. And the reason why the subject matter came up is because the son was like, hey, I want to be able to not be my own boss and whatnot, and be able to own my own company. He wants to be able to make money off the internet. And he's only 14 years old. So it's a great mindset to have. But unfortunately, he doesn't have anybody to steer him in the right direction, one. And two, he was telling them, was like, well, he needs to get to an age where he has a job first. And if he's going to be an entrepreneur, maybe go around, like he's talking about cutting people's grass. Oh, okay, great, good. Get out there and start working to see what that hustle is like. Get that discipline. Learn those people skills, because that's really going to help you in the long run and whatnot. If I had men around me talking like that, I'm not saying anything bad about the men that I grew up with, because unfortunately my dad passed away when I was 3, but my mother made sure that I had other men around me. Unfortunately, majority of the time, um, because this is all they knew. They were always talking about how that I go to school to get a job, or go to the military. There was never any outside of that. It's like these are your choices, you know. And then the ones who owned the business, I never got a chance to talk to them. Like rest in peace to my uncle Jay Marvin. He owned a trucking business, a construction business. Before his business was starting to blow up, before his wife killed him. Unfortunately, I'm getting deep tonight. I'm not even on my YouTube and Facebook. This is the problem with with Instagram. You just start talking, and it is what it is. But yeah. So I wish I could have had more conversations from a business aspect from those men from that time frame. Hey, what's going on, Myra? I wish I could have had a conversation with people on that level, because it would have been, I think my life from an economic standpoint would have turned out differently. I think where I live at would have turned out differently. Things would have turned out differently. Not that things are really bad now, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, is that things would have been differently, because the mindset of the people that I was around would have been different. All right. So, anyways, do the great thing for Things family. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. I'm about to go live on my YouTube and Facebook, so check it out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to Larry's Anything Goes, LLC. And check out the online store. Support your local entrepreneurs. Thanks to the 2 customers that bought products from my Shopify store today. Your stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, think of signing up with WEBULL, Stash, Coinbase, Acorns, Crypto.com, all that good stuff. So as I say, family, make money move, or you're going to live, bro, like a fool. Take care.